What's Chirpin' Crickets? This is Kim for Kim Takes On. I'm Kim. Hi. And this is my co-host, co-producer, and all-around swell guy, Terrence the Wonder Duck. Terrence says hi. He hopes you're all having a wonderful week out there, getting ready for New Year's coming up this week. Wow. We're almost at the end of the year, my crickets. Another year going by. And that's pretty much what I'm going to talk about today, is just a few bits and bobs and odds and ends and stuff like that about 2024 that I just felt like, from me to you. First off, from me and Terrence, to you, we hope that you all have a wonderful New Year's Eve, whatever you're going to do for New Year's Eve. If you are one of those people that actually enjoys the idea of going to Times Square and hanging out in Times Square and watching the ball drop and crowds, crowds, people, germs. Where's my hand sanitizer? Sorry. I'm okay now. Funny thing, I've actually been to Times Square. We went to see a play in New York, and we were in Times Square. It was really late. It was like after midnight, and the sky is so bright, even in that late at night. It's like almost like daytime. And I remember standing there, and half of my brain is going, "This is so cool," and half of my brain is going, "This is really wrong." And the weird thing is we saw this documentary a while after that about light pollution. And that made me think of that because it was like, wow. New York, when they say New York City is a city that never sleeps, they mean it. There's always somebody going somewhere and rushing around and stuff like that. And if you can live that way, if that's your thing, I know some people thrive in that kind of environment, and good for them if they can do it, if they can handle that kind of hustle. That's more power to you, says I. I've watched the ball drop ceremony thing from Times Square, several times during my life. And I've just always been like, there's way too many people. There's way too many people near you you don't know. And it's cold. It's New York in December. You people are crazy. Of course, I think the same thing about Boston. Boston has a really cool thing called First Night, where they have musical acts and ice sculptures and all kinds of stuff. And it looks really nice from home watching it on the news, because I'm like, there ain't no way. Quick New Year's Eve story. This was a while ago. We had gone to dinner. TC and I had gone to dinner at a restaurant that's no longer in Boston anymore. And we're coming home, and we had to take the mass transit trains to get to where we needed to get. So we're getting on the train, and this is about 8:00, because we're not these woo party people, stay out all night and stuff like that, because that's just not either of us, really. And I've never been that person. I don't really. Okay, true confessions time. I get uncomfortable being around people that are imbibing too much. I'm not saying you can't if you're of legal drinking age, and you know your body and it's your liver, as long as you don't drink and drive. But I get very uncomfortable being around people who are sloppy drunk. Yay, unresolved childhood issues. But so most of the time I'm like, yeah, people are getting rowdy, people are getting drunk, let's split. So we were like, well, we'll go have dinner at this restaurant that we really liked. As I said, that's not there anymore. And we were like, well, we'll have dinner, and then we'll take the train home, and we'll be home and safe and everything before things start getting bananas. So we both think that's a good, solid adult way of thinking. Ugh. I hate when it happens sometimes, but sometimes you got to do it. So we're on the train, and we're just doing the whole passenger thing. These girls get on the train. It is like about 8:15, and these girls are hammered. They are so wasted. I mean, I say girls, but they were young women. They were in their 20s, but they were so smashed. And I was kind of like looking at him, and he's kind of looking at me, and we're like, it's not even 8:30 yet. What time did these girls start? What time when they start drinking? And I mean, they weren't like belligerent loud. They were just loud, which is, I don't know about you, but I'd rather deal with just loud than belligerent loud. But that's just me. But story time's over, I guess. But, wherever they do, wherever you live, for your New Year's celebration, I hope that you have a wonderful planned whatever you're doing. If you're going to a party, if you're going to a friend's house, or even if you're just staying in and having an intimate night, I hope you have a lovely time. I hope you enjoy yourself safely. And I hope if you are somebody that is planning to drink, that you have somebody who is planning to drive or Uber or cab or whatever. So I guess that's the portion of the show where I act like everybody's mom. So sorry. There are a lot of things I could talk about looking back on 2024. I guess the one thing that we could talk about from 2024, if you're an American, because, oh my gosh, we didn't hear enough about this, did we, kids? About the election in 2024. And so we had an election. Somebody lost, somebody won. Moving on. Boo! We're over here now. Yeah, I ain't getting into that. No way am I getting into that. If you think I'm kicking that hornet's nest with designer shoes on, you're nuts. Yeah, I ain't doing it because I'm going to piss somebody off if I do that. I'm going to piss somebody off because I just do, because I decided a long time ago that, there's this party and that party and stuff like that. I'm going to join. I have the chocolate cake with chocolate ice cream party, and anybody who wants to join, you're more than welcome to join. That's our party. Woohoo. So that's my entire thing about politics. So screw that. So what I wanted to talk about 2024 is it really kind of sucks because you start realizing at a certain point in your life, you start realizing that you are not the spring chicken that it's just a turn of phrase, Terrence. Don't get it. You are not the spring duck. Happy? You are not the bright young thing that you were earlier on in your life. Because you never think you're really going to get old, do you? I mean, I didn't. I know I didn't. I didn't think I'd make it to 21, much less where I'm at now. And no, you don't get to know that. When you start looking around and you realize a lot of the bands that you loved when you were a teenager, you start hearing, well, we've hit the point where we've decided we're going to retire or we're not going to tour anymore. And you go, well, wait a minute. What do you mean you're going to stop touring? What do you mean you're not going to be recording anymore? That almost makes it sound like you're getting older. And if you're getting older, what does that say about me? I know what it says, Terrence. Shut up. He's just in a mood today. You are in a mood today. Sheesh. But, getting older isn't a bad thing because it sure as hell beats the alternative. Think about it. But there have been several bands that have made their fans probably a little sad this year because they've announced that they're not going to be touring anymore. I don't know if that means they're not going to be recording music anymore. I would assume maybe not, but I think in some cases, definitely. One of them being Aerosmith. They have canceled they had a tour going and they canceled the rest of it. And they've announced they were going off, they weren't going to be touring, going off the road, packing it in. I know that's because Steven Tyler's had some issues, and that sucks. But if we've reached the end of that road, thanks for the memories, I guess is the best way to look at. No, I'm not going to sing it. No. Do y'all want it? Thanks for the memories. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Okay, are you happy now? You made me look like a dork on the worldwide internet webs. Are you happy? You're lucky you're so cute, or you'd be a pain in the ass. Yes, I'm sitting here arguing with a rubber duck. Yay, First Amendment! Woo! Freedom of expression. Anywho, considering that Aerosmith have been around for a long time, and considering the fact that, considering all of the illicit substances, we're lucky we still have them, for real, thanks for all the rockin' good times with them. They've given us some great music. I also think it's really weird that they decide they're not going to be touring anymore and all this stuff like that, and all of a sudden they're yanked off the rock and roller coaster ride at Disney, and now it's going to be the Muppets. Coincidence? Yeah, probably. I mean, if I'm honest. Fleetwood Mac have pretty much Stevie Nicks has basically said that they can't really be Fleetwood Mac anymore without Christine McVie, who passed away sadly a couple of years ago. And I can understand that. I mean, certain people, when they're part of your band and then they're, they've moved on from this plane of existence to whatever, sometimes bands can bounce back from that, and sometimes they can't. And I know some of their fans can be pissed about that, but you have to take the attitude that this isn't just their bandmate. This is hopefully, their friend, their partner, their person that they shared up and down the road with in good times, bad times, and everything in between. And they might have been a shoulder to cry on. They might have been the glue that held the band together. And if they're gone, unfortunately, there's a reason the phrase lightning in a bottle exists, It's like when it happens, it happens. I mean, I know it's kind of a cliche saying, but I really do believe in it, and I really believe that it's true. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. And considering that Fleetwood Mac has given us a lot of amazing songs, I think that most people I know most people were very sad when Christine passed away. And I know a lot of people were probably like, what? They're not even going to try when Stevie Nicks made this statement, but I get it. And like I said, you take the attitude of don't cry because Fleetwood Mac's gone. Smile because we have all their music and all of the memories of their music. And that's the way to look at it, in my opinion. Because I know all kinds of stuff about giving out healthy psychological advice. Stop laughing, Terrence. Told you he was in a mood. Okay. Now this one, I don't know what to say about this. I mean, you often hear about the fact that bands can have the thing that makes the band wonderful can also be the thing that can make the band kind of a hot mess. When you have people that are creative, which singers and songwriters and musicians are, The problem is you have people that are creative. People who are creative also tend to be very passionate. And sometimes when you get one passionate person and another passionate person, it's like, hello, stick of dynamite, meet a lit match. Boom. And eventually, sometimes things just go wrong, okay? But why did it have to go wrong in Boston, man? I'm talking, of course, about what happened earlier this year with Jane's Addiction, when Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro got in a shoving match during a show in Boston. I'm like, you couldn't have done this in New York City. I'm sorry. It's the whole New York Boston thing. If you get it, you get it. Yankees suck. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I am joking. Humor, honk honk. The Yankees really don't suck, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch baseball. But they had a big shoving match on stage, and so apparently Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro are no longer part of Jane's Addiction, and I'm not entirely sure Jane's Addiction or Porno for Pyros are ever going to be a thing again. I guess it's just kind of one of those wait and see situations, It's just kind of sit back and like the whole thing with, I loved this earlier on this year when the Gallagher brothers are like, we're getting back together again and Oasis is going to go back out on tour and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, you all know what the doomsday clock is, right? I shouldn't have to tell this to you. You're a smart bunch. Why did the little hand just go tick, one step closer to midnight? I'm sorry. If this tour happens and actually happens as in starts, middle, finish, and nobody winds up being, arrested or hit with a guitar or anything like that, I will be beyond stunned. I'm not saying I want that to happen. Goodness knows I'm not saying that. Because, I think harmony is a good thing. And it'd be nice if people in families didn't try and end each other with musical instruments, or call each other potatoes. If you've been following the saga of the Gallagher brothers, you get that. But is this actually going to happen? I don't know. I want to see it happen simply to prove the naysayers wrong, but I'm not holding my breath. That's just my take. REO Speedwagon has also announced that they're not going to be touring any longer due to irreconcilable differences. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I guess some things I just don't think I want to know. I don't know about you, but it's like, I don't want to know. I don't know. People do say your band is like a marriage, and considering more people's marriages have crashed and burned and been blamed on irreconcilable differences, whatever. Something that happened before I started doing this little old show. In 2023, Kiss announced that they were done touring physically. Kiss has announced that they are going to be still touring via avatars, holograms, basically. Now, this has already been done with ABBA, and I want to be excited about this. I am excited about this. Because there's one part of me that is like, wow, that's so cool. And it's so great because people who are, younger can listen to Kiss and see Kiss and it'll never have to really end or anything like that. And then there's the part of me that watched the Terminator movies and is going, all this AI stuff is really making me itch. That might also be because I am, for the most part, one step away from a cave person hitting the computer with a stick going, work now, box work now. Because I'm not the computer person in our house, and neither is Terrence. Because he's a duck and not a person. I know. No, it's because TC's the computer genius in our house. And I admit that. I have no problem with, he's the computer genius and Terrence and I bring the cute. But I mean, I kind of feel like, well, I guess this is a good thing that you're using technology for good and not for finding new ways to, blow people up. That's a good thing, as far as I'm concerned. And perpetuating music is a good thing. And so I'm trying to be positive about the whole AI thing. Trying. I have days when I think it's great, and I have days when I think we're 2 steps from Skynet, and I start freaking out, and then I need chocolate. The other thing that I would like, there's one thing that I would like, there's lots of things that I would like to see happen in 2025. Oh my gosh. In 2025, I would like to see people stop being jerks to each other. I would like to see people not finding ways to be like, well, you're different and I hate you because you're different. I'd like people to be like, well, you're different and I'm different and that's cool. And can we all just be different and be cool with each other and not be assholes? Sorry. But then again, I am also an earthy, crunchy granola hippie and I know it. But I'd like things to be better for everybody. I like everybody to feel safe in their own house, in their own head, in their own neighborhood, and, stuff like that. I'd also like Chris Hemsworth to show up on my door in the Thor costume, but that ain't happening. Kidding. Anyway, one thing, though, that I am very serious that I would like to see happen, vinyl. Now, vinyl, as all of the people in the vinyl community know, hello, is coming back. When you started seeing vinyl show up in stores again, and I don't mean just thrift stores, and I am not knocking thrift stores. I would never do that. You never know what you'll find in a thrift store. You could find something you didn't even know you were looking for, and then you find it and you're beyond happy. So I would never knock thrift stores, and don't you do it either. But when you started seeing vinyl records in, stores like Barnes and Noble and what have you and stuff like that, and places like Spin Me Round Records, let's hear it for blatant plugging, woo! But anyway, that was really like, wow, records are actually coming back. And I remember thinking, well, this is really cool. And then I looked over at TC, who's practically tap dancing, and I'm like, okay, I get it. He loves vinyl. So I knew that. And so when there's more vinyl, I'm like, well, I'm happy there's more vinyl. Terrence is happy there's more vinyl. And Terrence and I are both happy there's more vinyl because it makes TC happy. And that makes us happy. The thing is, what I would really like is that there would be more places to make vinyl. Because A, it would bring more jobs. And B, it would stop vinyl from costing so frickin' much. I mean, when you see that you basically have to sell your bone marrow anymore at certain places when you're getting records from them, not places like Spin Me Round, no, they're very fair with their prices. Hello again. But the amount of money that they want for vinyl is nuts. It is crazy. It is, and I know some people are like, well, you're basing that back on when you were getting vinyl and buying vinyl and blah, blah, blah. And things change and, economics and all that other crap that I should have paid attention to in school and totally didn't. But I know things go up in price. I know. I mean, I get it. But that much, the amount of money that some people are willing to charge for a vinyl record. And I just mean a vinyl record. I don't mean a vinyl record with, like 2 records in one thing, or something that comes with a book or something like that, which CDs used to do and don't anymore, assuming anybody buys CD. See, that's the thing that freaks me out. If vinyl's coming back and CDs are kind of coming back a little bit, if 8 tracks are coming back, I am on the next rocket to Jupiter. Me and Terrence, we're just heading out. I will not go through 8-track again. Never again. But that's what I would like for 2025. More places making vinyl. So vinyl doesn't cost as much. People get jobs from places actually opening up that sell or that make vinyl so they can make more records and stuff. So that people who are vinyl collectors like TC and all of his friends in the vinyl community, hello, they're all happy, because that would make me happy. And what would also make me happy would be if you click on the little like button for this video and click on the subscribe button for this channel, so you can look at all the other crazy, kooky, fun, wacky videos that are on this channel, some of which are done by me, most of which are done by TC, who may not always be wacky, but is always really smart and great to listen to. So that is going to wrap things up, my crickets, for the last show of 2024 for Kim Takes On. Wow. And I will be looking forward to you. Actually, we will be looking forward to you in 2025. So, this is Kim, and this is Terrence the Wonder Duck, saying Happy New Year and keep on rocking.